Hello YouTube. Kind of chilly morning here. I'm running my heater over there. It's only 62 degrees in the shop. I want to show you my little scratch awl that I made. This is a piece of brass I had chucked in the lathe when I was testing it. It's just all free-handed. I put my scale up there and kind of measured off. And like you take a bit like this. This is just some special bit I made to get in somewhere, but anything just to put a groove. Okay, get your grooves there. The light's kind of blowing everything out. So sharp and shiny. This I'd made years back. This is a cutoff blade. I know this is crudely made, but it was a bigger one and I broke it. But there's a bevel on here. See where that bevel's down? So if you look at this side, you have to kind of come in at an angle. This thing's so pokey. You have to kind of, so imagine a bigger one. You got to come in like at an angle like this and work your way around. It takes a little work, and you can only really do it on brass or aluminum. I mean, you're not going to take that little homemade tool and really bear down with 1/4 inch. I make my own high-speed steel bits. Since I got my lathe, I made my own lathe bits. I watch Mr. Pete, and he has great big wooden models made. I like a 2x4. He'll show you so you can see it in big view. So it's just some special thing I made to reach in somewhere. It's not a boring bit or nothing. I made a boring bit. Anyway, back to this. This is a 3/16 inch drill bit. Actually, this is a drill bit I used. So there's still a Sharpie mark on there. So I went in quite a ways inside of here. So I glued this in. That way these flutes will kind of help with epoxy to hold it in there. Then I took, which is very hard to do, warning if you ever try to do this, my grinder is rolling this way, so it's going that direction. And to lay this up on here and make this tapered was not very easy, because I had to have my fingers out, way out here, and I had a can of water. I mean, every time I got out, I dipped it. I didn't want to lose the temper or the strength of this. This is high-speed steel drill bit. A shiny silver one, I know for a fact it's high-speed steel drill bit. Something I've had, it was actually a brand new bit. But I sacrificed it because it had been chewed up in a chuck. But the tip of it was, the cutting edge is brand new, but it was chewed up in the chuck. It slipped one time in something. But you can measure this down to various thickness from 1/8 inch. I mean, you can go down anywhere from, it's clear down to like 20 thousandths almost to the tip. I'm trying to take a close-up shot. Get that out of the camera view. I mean, you can measure it. I'm trying to get a little shine. You can measure this down of, it's not a perfect taper, but what I did was, I mean, believe it or not, you can sand this kind of stuff with sandpaper if you want to put the muscle in. If I had where it wasn't round, I felt like a ridge, I would sand on it. And I used various grits. I used every grit I had down to, I finally got down to around, after 200, I went to 400, because it worked better than my 500, because it's a high dollar sandpaper. It's a purple high quality, so it rips through the metal better. But never poked myself till I finally got done. I was polishing this on the buffer, and I was wiping off the rag, and I'm going back, and I poked my finger a little bit. So a little drop of blood on it. It's the sacrifice. But too much yakking on this little tool. But I want to show these bits before I go where I'm thinking of it. See how there's not much spiral? I want to maybe buy another set of these or find some and chop them off, because in my little lathe, you got the tailstock way out here. And you have to stop drilling, almost leave the bit part way in the hole and readjust. And that's not safe. You want to be able to go in and out all the time to get the chips out. So, I hate to spend $20 to chop up a bunch of drill bits. I'm looking for something where I can chop these shanks off. At least like down to a 3/16. A 1/4 inch doesn't have this long a shank. So, you need to find some bits like that where I can modify them or buy some shorter bits. Because it did take quite a bit. If I'm going to do this again, on anything, I'm going to take one of these bits, because I have two. They give you two 1/8 inch. These are the Hercules with the split point, 135 degree, whatever. I mean, they just, I didn't even use the center I didn't use the center drill on the lathe. I just brought it up carefully. And I already had the taper head this time. I just brought up carefully, pecked at it, and it found its center. So I did not have to use your typical lathe starter bit. You know what I mean? If you're into that machining, I could show a picture of one, but it's just a special little bit. So battery symbol is flashing. That means I've talked too long. So thanks for watching.